On the 27th of April 1945, as Soviet artillery thundered above the Reich Chancellery, a high-ranking SS officer made a decision. He would not die in Hitler's bunker. Hermann Fegelein was an SS-Gruppenführer, equivalent to a lieutenant general. He was Heinrich Himmler's liaison officer to Adolf Hitler, stationed in the Führerbunker beneath Berlin. He was Hitler's brother-in-law, married to Eva Braun's younger sister Gretl, but none of that would save him. Around 10 p.m. that evening, Fegelein approached Erich Kempka, Hitler's chief driver. He needed 2 vehicles for a reconnaissance mission. Then he handed Kempka a briefcase. Important documents, he said, from Himmler and himself. Hide it. Destroy it if the Soviets overrun the bunker. Under no circumstances should it fall into enemy hands. Kempka took the briefcase, not knowing what was inside, not knowing that its contents would seal Fegelein's fate. Fegelein departed the Reich Chancellery in the 2 cars. 30 minutes later, the automobiles returned without him. The SS drivers reported that he had hopped out in the Kurfürstendamm area and vanished on foot. When his absence became known, alarms went off in the bunker. Hitler's security service, the RSD, was ordered to track him down as a deserter. Fegelein's own adjutant was caught and revealed their intent. Fegelein had changed into civilian clothes at his apartment. He told his aide to allow the Russians to roll over them and then make their way through to Himmler. In other words, Fegelein planned to lie low during the Soviet takeover and link up with Himmler outside the city. This convinced Hitler that Fegelein was involved in a conspiracy. But what conspiracy? Late on April 27th, SS Obersturmbannführer Peter Hergel, deputy head of the RSD, finally located him. Hergel's squad found him in his Berlin apartment in the Charlottenburg district. Fegelein was in civilian clothes, preparing to flee Berlin. He had cash in multiple currencies and jewelry, some of it belonging to Eva Braun. He was intoxicated and in the company of a woman at his flat. And critically, Hergel discovered a briefcase. The briefcase. Inside were documents that provided evidence of Himmler's backdoor negotiations with the Western Allies, secret peace talks. Behind Hitler's back, Hergel's men dragged the drunken Fegelein back to the Führerbunker and locked him in a makeshift cell. His situation was about to get much worse. Let's go back. Hermann Fegelein was born on October 30th, 1906 in Ansbach, Bavaria. He grew up around horses and joined the SS in 1933, quickly impressing Heinrich Himmler with his equestrian skills. By 1939, he commanded an SS cavalry unit. During World War II, his cavalry units were deployed on the Eastern Front, where they became notorious for brutal operations. In 1941, his regiment participated in mass killings of Jews and civilians in Belorussia, murdering tens of thousands in the Pripyat marshes. These atrocities earned Fegelein rapid promotions. Himmler favoured him, elevating him to general officer ranks by 1942. Historians describe him as cynical, careerist, and disreputable, willing to do anything for advancement. A serious wound in October 1943 became a turning point. Himmler pulled him from frontline duty and assigned him as SS liaison officer to Adolf Hitler's headquarters. Starting in late 1943, Fegelein served as Himmler's representative at the Führer's HQ, bringing SS reports to Hitler and reporting back to Himmler. This position placed Fegelein in Hitler's close entourage by 1944. He cultivated friendships with top Nazis, notably Martin Bormann, and developed a playboy reputation. He was cavalier, witty, and popular with women. In June 1944, Hermann Fegelein married Gretl Braun, Eva Braun's younger sister. Adolf Hitler attended the ceremony at Obersalzberg. Through this union, Fegelein became Hitler's brother-in-law. As Hitler's brother-in-law, Fegelein gained social standing and an aura of family trust. He survived the July 20th, 1944 bomb plot against Hitler, wounded in the leg by the blast. In the aftermath, Fegelein showed fanatical loyalty, helping hunt down the conspirators with zeal. By all appearances, SS-Gruppenführer Fegelein was a committed Nazi insider, which made his later treachery all the more shocking. Now let's return to the bunker. On the morning of the 28th of April 1945, Fegelein sat in custody while battle raged above. That same day brought news that confirmed his treachery. Around the evening of April 28th, Hitler received a BBC radio report, relayed via Reuters, that Heinrich Himmler had opened unauthorized surrender talks with the Western Allies, offering to capitulate Germany to the Americans and British through Swedish intermediary Count Folke Bernadotte. This revelation was a bombshell in the bunker. Hitler, upon hearing it, flew into a rage. His face was red and unrecognizable, according to pilot Hanna Reich, who witnessed the outburst. Hitler denounced Himmler's disloyalty and ordered his immediate arrest, though Himmler was out of reach. Fegelein's predicament was now gravely compounded. As Himmler's liaison, Fegelein was directly associated with the SS chief's treason. Hitler and his entourage quickly saw the connection: Fegelein's disappearance, Himmler's secret negotiations. The documents found in Fegelein's possession were tangible proof of the Himmler-Bernadotte contacts. Those papers in the briefcase, the ones he'd tried to hide with Kempka, evidence of betrayal. Thus, in Hitler's eyes, Fegelein's desertion on April 27th was not just cowardice, but part of the larger betrayal by his once loyal henchman. Hermann Göring had also tried to assume command a few days earlier. Now Himmler and Fegelein, caught between them all. Enraged and feeling betrayed on all sides, Hitler turned his wrath on Fegelein. He ordered Heinrich Müller, Gestapo chief, to interrogate Fegelein about Himmler's activities. Under questioning, and likely still drunk, Fegelein had little chance to defend himself. Initially, Hitler considered a token gesture. He thought about stripping Fegelein of his SS rank and sending him to the front lines in Berlin to prove his loyalty in combat. Hitler momentarily mused that Fegelein could be transferred to Kampfgruppe Monke, SS General Wilhelm Monke's battle group, to fight the Soviets. However, Hitler's advisors, Martin Bormann and Otto Günscher, argued that Fegelein would only desert again if given the chance. With Soviet troops now nearly at the bunker's doorstep, there was no room for half measures. Hitler agreed. Fegelein would face a court-martial for treason. On the night of the 28th of April, Hermann Fegelein was formally court-martialed inside the beleaguered Chancellery. SS Brigadeführer Wilhelm Monke, commanding the defense of the bunker, later recounted that Hitler ordered him to convene a tribunal for Fegelein's offence of desertion. Monke assembled a panel including Generals Hans Krebs and Wilhelm Burgdorf, and SS security chief Johann Rattenhuber. They brought Fegelein before the court, still drunk and dishevelled. What happened next was chaos. According to Monke's testimony, Fegelein was so intoxicated that he could barely stand. He couldn't speak coherently. He was crying, vomiting. He urinated on the floor. He raved that he answered only to Himmler, not Hitler. The general stood watching as this highly decorated SS officer, this Knight's Cross recipient, this member of Hitler's family, collapsed into a pathetic, incoherent wreck. Given his condition, the tribunal found it impossible to conduct a proper legal hearing. Under German military law, an accused had to be of sound mind to be tried. Monke halted the formal trial. Nevertheless, everyone understood Fegelein's guilt as a deserter was clear. Monke handed the prisoner over to Rattenhuber's RSD guards to take appropriate action. But there was still one person who might save him. Eva Braun was now Hitler's fiancée. Fegelein was her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, family, and Gretl was heavily pregnant, due in May. Eva briefly pleaded with Hitler to spare Fegelein. She pointed out the pregnancy. She said it was human nature for Fegelein to worry about his wife and unborn child and try to escape. She appealed to Hitler's mercy. Hitler's secretaries watched, wondering if Eva's influence would prevail, if family bonds would override military justice, if Hitler would show compassion at the end. Yet Hitler was unmoved. He saw Fegelein's flight as unforgivable treachery at the moment of Germany's collapse. According to witnesses, Hitler ranted about deceit and treachery and remained implacable in demanding Fegelein's death. Eva Braun's eyes were red with weeping after the decision was made. Her plea had failed. There would be no mercy, not even for family. Sometime late on the 28th of April 1945, around midnight, Hermann Fegelein was executed on Hitler's orders. Guards dragged him up to the ruined Chancellery garden. He was still wearing civilian clothes. Heinz Linger noted Fegelein had donned a leather coat, gloves, and a fashionable hat, looking like a Kurfürstendamm dandy rather than an officer. In the cold darkness, under the sounds of Soviet artillery, a firing squad carried out the execution in the Ehrenhof courtyard adjacent to the bunker. Traudl Junge, Hitler's secretary, later said Fegelein was taken out and shot like a dog in the Chancellery garden. His summary execution on the 28th of April 1945 came just 2 days before Hitler's own suicide. Fegelein's wife Gretl gave birth to a daughter, Eva Barbara Fegelein, on the 5th of May 1945, never knowing her husband's fate until after the war. Hermann Fegelein was virtually the only member of Hitler's inner circle in Berlin to turn against the Führer at the bitter end. His high position as Himmler's deputy to Hitler and a relative by marriage made his treason loom especially large in Hitler's mind. Fegelein's execution on the 28th of April 1945 was the Nazi regime's last spasm of retribution against one of its own. 2 days later, Hitler and Eva Braun committed suicide, and within a week, the war in Europe ended.